Trinity B2, the ISE II exam. Speaking, task 1. Topic. How do you choose a topic and how do you prepare? My name is Heather. I'm an English language teacher. Let's go. First thing, when you choose a topic, you can choose anything. And a good speaker can pass with any topic. It's not that there is a super good topic or a super bad topic. The first thing is to choose the level of detail, low, medium, or high. Example, low detail topic, football. Medium detail, how much football players are paid. High detail, football players should not be paid what they are being paid. Two of those examples come directly from Trinity, so we pay attention to them as guides, examples. You can choose any of the three, but my recommendation to you is if you think, I'm not that great at English, I'm not super confident, but I do want to prepare a lot, go with high details. Why? On the B1 channel, I say the same thing. For B1, my topic, you want to go detailed. Same exact situation here on B2. You do not want to be worrying about planning for every possible question on earth. You want to narrow down your topic so that the examiner's questions are narrowed. Then you are focused and you are targeting what the examiner could ask you. I want to do something today about the topic of vegetarian. It's only an example. Low-level detail, being a vegetarian. I could choose that topic. It's a big topic, being a vegetarian. There's lots of things I could talk about, advantages, disadvantages, suggestions, arguments. Medium detailed topic. Being a vegetarian is healthy. There's lots I could talk about there too, but it's more specific. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more maybe about being healthy. High level detail. Everyone should be vegetarian. Ooh, it's a little bit controversial. There's definitely things I could talk about. I can talk about advantages and disadvantages. I can talk about all of the language functions that I need to demonstrate. So I want to do that high level topic. I had my topic. Now I want to prepare. So next thing, take a screenshot if you want. Next thing, we need to look at grammar and language functions because that's what I need to prepare for. These are the tenses. I want to make sure that I can speak using these tenses because if you go into this B2 exam and you only speak in present tense, maybe simple past or future, that's going to be a problem. You will not pass if you only use those three tenses. So we want to prepare sentences in all of these styles, using all of this grammar. The green ones specifically are mentioned in the B2 Trinity Teacher's Guide. So I would make sure I know these in green. The ones that are not in green are B1, so you should definitely know those already. Everything under grammar, you should be able to make sentences. Language functions. That is what the examiner will also grade me on. I need to be able to do these things. I need to be able to give advice, to speculate, to elicit further information. I need to do all of these things. So I want to be ready with everything on this piece of paper. How do I do this? Next, I want to practice making sentences. I need to know my starting point. How many sentences can I already say about this topic? How comfortable is this topic? So I put my topic at the top. Everyone should try being a vegetarian. And then I either write or say sentences for each of these points in column A. Present. I think everyone should try being a vegetarian because it's a healthy lifestyle and people have many health problems these days. I am a vegetarian. I think it's a healthy lifestyle. I know many vegetarians in the world and they are very healthy. So you make lots of sentences in these. I know I can do present tense. Let's try past tense. I met many vegetarians when I went to school. I met many vegetarians when I lived in California. We practice writing or saying past tense sentences, and we go down through the list, making sure that we know all of these grammar elements. I have never met a vegetarian. I had never met a vegetarian until I met my friend Susan, and we go through the list. And now someone's going to say to me, well, I'm just going to put that in ChatGPT. ChatGPT can do all of this for me. That's step two. Step one is you try it yourself because you want to know where's your starting point, where's your baseline, because then you know you need to work on the gaps. So if you can think of the first few, but suddenly you think, oh, I don't know, present continuous, what's that? How do I use that? You can take the time to look it up, to practice it, or now's the time when you can involve ChatGPT. Once you know how many sentences you can write, ask ChatGPT or your chat program to do this for you. So you give them the tense and they make you some sample sentences. Last year, my brother tried being a vegetarian and he enjoyed it. I say to do this for the example, not to memorize this, because maybe you don't have a brother, or your brother never tried to be a vegetarian and your brother hates vegetables. So I don't try to memorize what ChatGPT tells me randomly so that I could use this grammar in a sentence that makes sense to me using my information, my interests. I often see one of two situations here. Situation one is someone who came to the UK many years ago and maybe they never learned English grammar at school or they don't remember it, but they learned how to speak English at work. And now they speak 40 hours at least every week, or all of their friends are English speakers. However, it happens, they don't know the grammar. They don't know the type of grammar, but they can use it. They speak it correctly. I'm not worried about you. I'm not stressed if you don't know that this is past perfect, past perfect continuous. As long as you can say it, that part's not important. As long as you can use the different tenses. I do worry about someone who can't say the sentences and they don't know the grammar rules at all. In that situation, you sometimes think, well, I'll just talk present tense, simple past, future. That's all I need. If you are in that situation, that's where you use ChatGPT to help you to learn the grammar and specifically to make sentences that you can use. You don't want to memorize sentences. You do not want to be a parrot trying to memorize what ChatGPT tells you. We do want to use ChatGPT as a tool to guide us, to give us examples of the grammar that you can then use to make beautiful sentences and to learn the grammar. So now what? I have lots of sentences. I can say things about being a vegetarian in many different tenses. So I have the grammar. I have that one. Next, I want to make sure that I can use it effectively and I can demonstrate language functions. And people often do these things without realizing it because it's a day-to-day thing. It's not a special B2 secret grammar. For example, giving advice. You should think about becoming a vegetarian. I think it would help you since you want to lose weight. Maybe you could lose weight if you tried being a vegetarian. So again, I asked ChatGPT to help me. I want to use these language functions and I want sentences using my topic. So I put that in the chat GPT also. And I get some nice sentences that I can look at, think about, practice, and I can own them. I could ask the examiner, what do you think about people trying a vegetarian diet? One advantage of being a vegetarian is that it can improve your health. This is where you want to think about it. Think about what advantage you want to talk about. Think about what disadvantage you want to talk about, and you can use this structure to guide you when you get the correct grammar and the format from our friend ChatGPT. We need to be ready to agree and disagree with the examiner so we can learn some things like this. I completely agree that vegetarian diets can be beneficial. You need to pay attention because maybe the examiner gives you a different type of sentence, nothing about vegetarian diets being beneficial. Maybe the examiner says the opposite and you're having to disagree with the examiner. So you can't memorize these. This is not something where you can memorize it and just say it without thinking. You do need to listen to the examiner, but this is helpful to give you a structure and to give you a guidance of the types of sentences that you need to do. And the last thing I want to do is to make a mind map. So I created my sentences. Maybe I used ChatGPT to help me to give me some more ideas. I practice the language functions so I can speculate, I can give advantages and disadvantages, I can give advice, I can disagree. If there are certain things I think, yeah, I want to show that vocabulary to the examiner, I've got a great sentence about that. I really want to use that. I make a mind map. And this looks familiar, doesn't it? It looks like a B1 mind map. You don't have to have 5 points. You can have four, you can have three. Mm, We don't want to make six, though. In the center, everyone should try being a vegetarian. And around the side, I just want some very short notes to remind me of what I want to talk about. And also, it will help guide the examiner to talk about these points. So if I want to talk about health, it's dangerous for some people. I might have some great vocabulary about how it's detrimental to athletes, to children, to older people. Cost. I can talk about the advantages and disadvantages of having a vegetarian diet. It can be more expensive in some places. In other places, it's much cheaper. Environmental impacts and challenges skills. So maybe not everyone can cook. People might not know how to cook vegetarian food. It challenges their skill set to learn how to do this. These are just ideas that I want to put in front of the examiner because that will help guide the examiner to what I want to talk about. That is my Trinity B2 ISE II example of choosing a topic and preparing for the topic phase. If this is helpful, please like, follow, share. Keep studying, keep learning English.